Hey guys, Sam here, and in today's video I want to talk to you guys about something that I've been working on the post-production side of things, and I want to share it with you guys today because I feel that it's a really incredible tool that's just bursting onto the scene of the film world. For some of you, this might just change your entire outlook on what is possible in the indie filmmaking world. What I'm talking about here is Unreal Engine, and I just want to say that for the filmmaking community, if you don't know what Unreal Engine is, or if you aren't really familiar with it, you're starting to fall behind. Because Unreal Engine is absolutely the future of filmmaking in my opinion. The developers over at Epic Games are doing incredible things with this software, and it's already great as a game engine on its own, and we're just starting to scratch the surface of what it's capable of in the film world, because they're just starting to implement the system into film production. Now, I personally am somewhat new to Unreal Engine. I started learning it about 5 to 6 months ago because I wanted to use it for the visual effects in my new film Gemini. I've been trying to make videos documenting my progress as I discover tips and tricks and solve problems while I work out the best pipeline for visual effects and post-production on the film side of Unreal. So this video is another installment in my journey into the world of Unreal Engine and its potential in filmmaking. Now, if you guys like this video, I'm going to link 2 other videos that I did on Unreal Engine, one of them being how to get extremely realistic cinematic renders from Unreal, and the other being on the post-production pipeline that I've discovered and how to get a 3D tracked camera from After Effects into Unreal Engine to use as a VFX tool. So check those videos out. I'll link them in the corner here and at the end of the video and also in the description, so you guys can check that out if you're interested. But anyway, Unreal Engine is all about delivering the most realistic looking results possible in real time. So that means you can use it for virtual production, creating digital backdrops for real-time shooting, and much more. So take The Mandalorian for example. Unreal Engine has been used on huge productions like this for the application of real-time VFX, which consists of projecting a 3D environment created in Unreal Engine onto a wall or walls of LED panels that surround a set. Now, the projected environment is then synced up with the movement of the camera in 3D space using a camera positioning sensor, and the projected environment then reacts with the physical camera's movement, creating a 3D parallax that you would see in real life and thus selling the virtual set extension. This all updates in real time and there's no lag, so that it looks entirely seamless when you capture it in the camera, and this allows you to capture realistic, reactive lighting and reflections in your scene and on your actors, since you're surrounding your talent with the real projected environment. This means that you can capture realistic lighting and reflections in a much more straightforward way as compared to a green screen, which becomes very messy, or any other alternatives. And in the meantime, you're also saving on costs for post-production and expensive visual effects because you're getting it done on set. So not only is Unreal Engine useful for real-time visual effects, but now more than ever, it's extremely useful for post-production. And that's primarily what I want to talk to you guys about today. So I'm currently using it on my film Gemini to create the detailed and massive scenes for the backdrop of the film, and the ability to work in real time in conjunction with its now even more powerful renderer and the ability to use Quixel Megascans, which I'll get into in a minute, has made Unreal Engine a free-to-use monster of a tool for any person out there with a computer and some drive to get a great result. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Unreal, let me first explain what it is. So Unreal Engine is a game engine created by Epic Games, and if you played a video game, you've probably played something created in Unreal because it's pretty common, and it's been at the forefront of innovation in the real-time rendering world for some time. Fortnite, Batman Arkham City, some of the Borderlands games are just some of the examples of some games that have been created in Unreal Engine. But what's great about this software is that it's 100% free to use. That's right, it's free to use for anyone. All you need to do is make an Epic Games account, which is free of charge, and you're ready to get started. Now, Unreal is not like Blender, 3ds Max, or Cinema 4D. You can't really model complex objects or do super advanced texturing in Unreal. You can only create simple objects like cubes and spheres, light them, add volumetric and lighting effects, reflections, and other modifications in the engine. So you can only import complex objects, typically in the FBX format, which is very common in the 3D world. So you can certainly model your own objects in free software like Blender and then import them into Unreal Engine. So you may be wondering at this point, how does this help me? I don't have time to learn 3D modeling, and if I'm going to 3D model objects in Blender, I might as well just render them from Blender. So what's the point? One of the main points for using Unreal Engine, in my opinion, lies in something called Quixel Megascans. Quixel Megascans is a huge library of 3D objects, textures, decals, and other useful 3D assets for use in Unreal Engine. The library contains over 10,000 photorealistic, photoscanned assets, most of which have 4K or 8K textures for maximum detail, and they're already preset up to import directly into Unreal Engine. But what's so great about this library is that Quixel has partnered with Unreal Engine in the past year to provide all of their 3D assets to Unreal Engine users for free. So just take a look at these assets, guys. I mean, they're incredible. They're extremely detailed, highly realistic, and when you apply lighting to them, they're pretty much indistinguishable from real life. So we're inside a Quixel bridge here, and you can see these objects and these images are all rendered from Unreal Engine. If we go into our 3D assets, we have like, building assets here. These are all real 3D scanned objects prepped for Unreal Engine. You can see, we can move around this object. It's been scanned in, it's a statue, we have all these different objects, and there's over 15,000 of them. We've got lots of, building, we have food, we have historical objects, if you're building a temple or something. These are great assets for games, but also for film. Rusted metal barrel, we've got all kinds of interesting stuff here. And it's all very nicely organized into these different categories. And we also have collections, which is just groups of objects. You see all these are rendered, incredibly realistic, but it's great because, they're nicely labeled into these different groups. We have lots of rock and coastal rock assets. Like, these are great, highly detailed, and they're huge as well. So that's really nice if you're building up a large area. So you can see there's just like an incredible amount of stuff in here, lots of detail, and you have these textures as well. So if you want to export something into Unreal Engine, we're going to have to set up our path, and you're just going to set that to wherever your project file is located for your Unreal Engine project. That's pretty self-explanatory. So now all we have to do is click download here. I've already downloaded this object. And then once you have it set, you're also going to want to set your resolution before you click download, so 4K, 2K, or 8K. And once you have it downloaded, then all you have to do is click export, and it's going to export into your engine. So I just want to show you guys a quick glimpse into the Unreal Engine user interface and the software so you guys can see just how easy it is to use and how quickly you can get some really realistic results. As I said, I've only been using Unreal Engine for a few months and I've already learned quite a bit. It's actually a very intuitive software, and you really don't need that much, if any, experience in 3D software to pick it up and start using it. And this is what sets it apart from other 3D renderers and programs. It's going to allow you to get great results, and it's quick and easy to use, and you don't have to have that much experience. So it opens up a whole new world for filmmakers that are trying to get visual effects in their film but can't afford a VFX artist, need to do it themselves, or even if you just want to visualize what you're going to shoot before you shoot it, Unreal Engine is a great way to do that. So now that we have all of our assets imported here, I have a basic scene set up, and now some of these objects were modeled and textured in Blender, and these are some Quixel Megascans assets. Now I just have a basic scene, and this is going to be viewed from this view. Obviously I'm not designing a game level because this would be a terrible level because it doesn't look good unless you're looking through this camera, but that's okay for filmmaking purposes. I can turn on path tracing here, and that's going to give us some more realistic lighting, but you can see this scene is looking very realistic, and a lot of what's contributing to that is right here. If we look, all this detail in these objects, these are all from Quixel Megascans, and these really look very realistic. So that's adding a ton of detail to our scene. If we just had these buildings, it wouldn't be very convincing. They're not the greatest. I'm obviously not a 3D artist by any means, so these are really helping this scene along in selling it. So you can see there's a ton of detail in these objects, especially if we have our realistic lighting turned on. We're just getting so much detail here, and we can get very close and still they look excellent. So once you've imported your objects, we can go into our Megascans folder, find our 3D assets. It's as simple as just dragging it out into the scene, and we can rotate it around, move it however we like. We can scale it up or down. Very simple, very quick and easy, and we navigate just by using your typical gaming WASD. So it's very simple to pull these Megascans assets in and move them around. So the next thing I want to show you guys is how easy it can be to set up your lighting. So now we have no lights in this scene, and what we can do is just grab a directional light. There's lots of different lighting that you can do. You can grab a point light, and you can put it in here, and you can move it around, and as you can see, that's just like a point source of light. You can scale it up or down, and if you go over here, you can change the intensity of it, and you can see, very quickly, if you're creating like a street light or something, it's extremely realistic looking. You get some very interesting lighting just right off the bat. It's very intuitive, very easy. You don't have to modify much. The intensity, you can change the color of it. It's just, everything kind of is very self-explanatory. But now what I'll do is I'm going to add a sun essentially, and that's a directional light source. And, if we take our rotation, we can just rotate it around and light the scene however we feel fit. So, something like that is interesting. It kind of looks like sunset. We can get some very dramatic lighting on this building. If you have an HDRI backdrop, all you have to do is take an HDRI backdrop and just drop it in here. This is another way of lighting your scene. As you can see, if we turn it off and on, this sky is actually lighting our scene. So if we move it around, you can see the lighting actually changes on this building because we're changing the lighting of the sphere. So you can take any HDRI texture and apply it into your scene, and it's going to light it accordingly with the texture that you use. So that's really useful. Very, very easy, very quick. And if you have these Megascans assets, all you have to do is move them around. You don't have to, know how to model, how to do any of that stuff, but you have these incredibly realistic assets, and you just take a look at them. They're excellent. If I go back to our path tracing, now we have a scene that's lit in a different way. So it's very easy. It's very intuitive. So here's a rendered image from Unreal Engine, and you can see once you render it, it looks even more realistic. So it's extremely powerful. So my whole point in making this video is to tell you guys, if you're a filmmaker, you need to start looking into Unreal Engine. It's going to become a bigger and bigger thing. At some point, you're going to need to know this software, or at least be familiar with it, so you might as well get ahead of the curve. So anyway, that's about it for this video. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I hope it inspires you to go and learn something new. And I really hope that this video helps at least some of you guys realize some of your visions, because I know Unreal Engine has helped me to achieve things that I didn't think were really possible in the visual effects world, and I hope that it can do the same for you guys. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please feel free to comment on any future videos that you want me to do. Also leave a like, and maybe consider subscribing to the channel, because it really helps me to grow, and it helps me to make better videos for you guys in the future. So as always, thank you for watching, and have a good one, guys.